Welcome back to another episode of TVGP's Game Club. Moon changed his light behind him to pink, like literally as recording started. Oh boy! All right, it's the third Saturday of the month. Hello, it's time to talk about our latest game, which is Far Changing Tides. And by third Saturday of the month, I mean it's the fourth Saturday of the month. So, hey man, things are busy. We got scheduling stuff. You know how it goes. I'm your host, Buster. I'm playing this on the PlayStation 5. I'm joined as always by Moonpear.
Howdy, Xbox Series X.
And Musum.
Hello, Xbox Series X.
Let's get the introduction here out of the way. It came out March 1st, 2022, published by Frontier Foundry, developed by Okamotive, which is a really great studio name.
Oh, it's really good.
Yep. Came out PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series consoles. Time travel, Metacritic, and OpenCritic, 80. Appears for the release date from this year, Shadow Warrior 3, Babylon's Fall, Triangle Strategy, which is a game I still need to play, and Tunic. Game Club favorite from this year, Tunic. Yeah. Let's ask a question we ask every month. Was this game Far Changing Tides, top of the pile, middle of the pack, or overlooked?
I'll go first, middle of the pack.
Oh, okay.
Because I was going to say... I'm sorry.
You're okay. I love the fact that you sat back and crossed your arms like you were teaching yourself to not be naughty. Like, I was naughty.
Sitting on my hands.
Yes. I think the people who knew about this, especially the people who played the first one, were talking a lot about this game, and I think everybody else who had missed the first one and this one, they didn't care and they didn't talk about it at all.
Yeah.
I feel like every single game you just listed was overlooked except for Tunic because everyone was playing Tunic.
Right. That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I'm kind of like lower middle of the pack, upper overlooked. Like I feel very much how Moon does, where it's like if you played the previous game, it's like, yes, they're making another one. Let's go. And if you didn't, it was like, cool, I am playing something else. Not even...
What's this game?
Not on my radar. Yeah. All right, let's talk about game itself. Far Changing Tides. I keep saying it because I keep forgetting the title. Let's talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. Who would like to dive into the water first?
Okay, I'll start with what... I hate you. I'll start with something I didn't like. I didn't like the title because it's so forgettable. My file name for this show is Far Something Something.
Your title initially was Weird West, which is the next game we're going to be playing.
True.
Yeah, the title is I think Far Lone Sails, the previous game, has kind of a cool title, but this one, I Changing Tides is fine, and I just cannot remember it. By the way, spoilers here, just in case anyone hasn't played this. FYI.
Are we going to go bad first or good first?
I'd like to mention something good.
Okay, somebody else go, please.
Okay.
I really... So I had a mostly positive experience with this game. I have a lot of... I feel like when you said the score was 80, that kind of resonates with me a lot, because there are things I really, really love about this game. I love every time I got a new part for the ship. I love the sailing mechanic, but I don't love how the time stretches you have to deal with the sailing mechanic, if that makes any sense. So it's
like for how long you have to sail at one time. Sure.
Yeah. They were well, anyway. I like a lot, I don't... This game's hard because everything I love about it, I also have a slight critical issue with.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Like,
so whereas
go ahead.
I think with me, I'm in the exact same boat, but flip that, where it's like everything I hate about it, I have a slight positive thing to say about it.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I have a lot of problems with this game. I like the core gameplay of it. It reminds me a lot of like Limbo and Inside, more Inside than Limbo, where it's kind of this room-to-room puzzle adventure thing. It's not really like a platformer. It's not an action game, but it's more like all right, I hit a roadblock. I'm going to solve a puzzle. The roadblock is going to be removed, and I'm going to go kind of rinse and repeat. I think that's fine, because I think it keeps the game focused, and I don't think that... I think largely it doesn't overstay its welcome. But I found that the more pieces I was putting on my ship, the less I kind of wanted to spin the plates. Like, I felt like 2 or 3 plates I'm spinning, I'm okay. But then you keep adding more and more and more, and I'm like spinning 10 plates at a time, and the pendulum kind of swung from, yeah, like this chill, cool, great-looking game to like, yeah, okay, back in the ship. Okay, oh, another thing is on the ship. All right.
So, funny story about spinning the plates. I still only spend 1 plate.
Okay.
I'm just going to hit whatever I'm going to hit, and I'm like, okay, it's time to go down now, so we're going to go down. Oh, I hit a wall.
Right.
Let me connect this. Oh, I'm accidentally spinning 2 plates.
Right.
But I guess I'm going up at an angle now. Okay, now I'm back to 1 plate. I'm not going to spend more than this 1 plate game.
Right. Yeah.
I think my biggest issue with the game is it's missing it's missing a connective tissue somewhere in the middle to make everything really gel together. Because there's nothing to really propel you from, like, there's no environmental story interest necessarily going on, or at least none that I derived. And I know I'm not the most, as we gathered from last podcast, I'm not the most observant on environmental story.
Well, to be clear, there are no kaiju in this one, so we're okay.
That is true. Also, I want to loop back around to environmental storytelling once you've finished. I want to loop back, so you go ahead and then we'll loop.
Like, I think, like, the game has a communication issue. Like, I think all these, especially indie games and games as art, like, they really never want to tell you what to do because they're afraid of breaking the immersion. And, like, I was nervous about anything I burned in the game. Like, I was constantly like, is this going to do something? This one played music. That means it's special, right? I should keep it somewhere. Like, I put the plant in the planter and it gave me an achievement. So, like, the rest of the game, I was looking for things like that. And never found any.
Yeah, minus spoiler alert, you could water the plant with the hose.
Oh. Did you get an achievement?
You did. You get 2 more achievements for watering the plant to its fullest height.
Okay.
Oh,
well, I did not get those, obviously.
Fullest. Bummer.
So I really think, like, at its core, it needed to tell a story, and it didn't have to be a conventional story. It could have just been an environmental, like, kind of build, but you're just kind of meandering through these places till you get to the end.
You're like going from one cool set piece to another, where it's like, oh, now I'm a submarine. Now I raised this sunken city. Now I'm in a lighthouse. Like, there's a bunch of cool set pieces, but I don't feel like, I agree with you. I never felt like I was undertaking some sort of journey that necessitated I do all of this stuff.
Yeah. Like, the game could have ended at any point, and I would have felt the exact same way.
Right. And to be fair, with where the game ends, looping back to the first game, I think that's really interesting, but it missed me a little bit because I didn't play that first game, so I'm not entirely sure if this is like the other side of the coin of that first character's journey or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, see, the thing that bothered me about the environmental storytelling here was, I think you touched on it a little bit earlier. There was way too long between segments, like way too long between segments. Like, you can go underwater, you can go above water, you can swim, you get the booster thing. There's so much you can do, and none of it is used except for in those small puzzle sections.
Yeah.
But between that, you've got anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes of, like you guys said, plate spinning.
Yeah. You're just kind of like keeping the ship running.
But at this and it's like, oh yeah, there's stuff going on in the background, and you can look at this world and enjoy it. It's like, but the problem with a plate spinning game is don't give me the time to sit down and focus on the music, on the background, on how the world looks, how the world feels, because I'm too busy running upstairs to press the button to lower the sails so I can go downstairs to press the button to ignite the engine so I can pump the engine up with the stupid bellows and then...
Right. And then spray it with the water and then...
Exactly. Like,
yeah.
You're giving me too many things to do all at once while not telling me a story with your game design. Like, they are a little bit, but I mean, like, the grander, like, backgrounds and things like that. Like, the music stung like 3 or 4 times during the game. It, like, hit a stinger, and I was like, I don't know what you're stinging for, because I'm in the middle of, like, stopping my engine from blowing up. What do you want from me, kind of thing.
I do have to give the game credit. I think the score is fantastic. I think it's I think it looks cool graphically, like it has a really cool style, but I think the score for me especially is just it's really, really solid. I think I think especially like that first moment where you kind of unfurl the sails the very first time and that kind of main theme swells. I'm like, yeah, man. All right, this is some good stuff. But I agree with you guys. Like, and to be clear for anyone listening, there are some story beats. Like there's that elevator you're going down where they have a set of murals where there's like a big wave and a bunch of people and then a wave. Like, but I never felt like I was necessarily leaning enough from any one of those things to put the whole thing together. Because it didn't feel to me like something like Tunic or something like Umurangi Generation, where it's like, oh, okay, you've given me enough of the pieces to kind of put at least a rough sketch together. The thing that I know about this game is it's flooded. And everything seems to be destroyed.
Yeah. I think another thing that hurt it for me is like it was obviously built in like a 3D engine. And I am thankful they did not add a 3D steering aspect to it. Like,
so
a lot of the stuff in the background, I wish I could have taken a left to,
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Musim, about the joy of Sea of Thieves, which is basically the 3D version of this game.
Right. Yeah, I was reading some interviews with the developers. It was a 10-person team that developed this one. And they said they decided to stick with the 2D perspective just to make sure that they frame all of the puzzles and all the story elements they want in the way that they want it. So that way no one really got lost. You're just kind of going from left to right and then very briefly right to left.
I did not appreciate the right to left part.
Nope.
I got fairly angry. I'm like, you better not make me do this for a very long game.
Yeah, it's like when you're playing like a platforming game and you get poisoned or confused or something and your controls reverse, and I'm like, no, my brain does not like this. No, no, thank you.
I feel like it was worse somehow because now I have to upkeep this resource management of the ship. But
and the sails block your views, like so bad on that section.
I mean, it's really weird.
It is the small section. So as teased last week, I think it was on our mainline show. I did beat the game twice.
Okay.
I'm using with the backwards eye roll. I like widening there. There's an achievement for doing a speed run, dude. Come on.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, I would not do that. Like the last hour of that game, I felt like could have been chopped off. Honestly, it took me about 5 or 6 like sit downs to beat it, and I think I played like maybe an hour session or something. But
yeah, like that is probably my biggest thing is I feel like it's too long. And I don't know if that's because of the big sections that we talked about where you're just doing nothing. Like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate the thunderstorm sequence. I genuinely do. I think that sequence is great. Cool. And I love the fact that you basically leave from like a giant lock into like the ocean, and all of a sudden you're exposed to the elements. Like that is a really good idea, but like you're trying to sail through a thunderstorm, and if you haven't been grabbing everything on your way, you've got 0 fuel. Your engine will run out halfway through it, and then you're just literally wrestling with lightning, trying to get the mast back up so you can make some forward progress. Like,
yeah,
that kind of thing can be a little bit questionable. I mean, I did get the speedrun achievement in the end. It's like 2.5 hours, I think, is the speedrun, maybe 3.5.
that's not too bad.
So it's not too bad, but I thought I didn't get it because I thought I took too long to do that second playthrough. But I don't know if that's just me getting annoyed with the long periods of nothingness.
Just like tapping your watch, being like, "Come on, man, got somewhere to go."
Yeah, I'm not sure.
There's a lot of social media scrolling for me on some of those moments because it's they don't have enough environment in the background to keep my attention. Like, I love the art style in this game a whole lot. I really like the ship mechanic. I think excuse me. God, I'm just gonna die.
It's nice having Musum on the show.
On my own spit. Not drinking or eating anything. Anyway, I feel like there's a version of this game where, like, it's a little more free roaming and you can just wander around and gather materials and kind of explore the world at your own leisure, and kind of like, I feel like that would be a better game than this extremely linear experience to me.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point, because the thing that I kind of liked about the beginning of the game is it teaching you to raise and lower the mast. And I kind of liked that back and forth of like, oh, there's something coming up. Like, I've zoomed out my view to look at something coming up. I'm going to lower my mast. We're going to just kind of like keep our momentum going and sail under it and raise it. I kind of wish that I liked the mechanic of like pushing and pulling that thing to kind of angle your sails to get the perfect speed going. I kind of liked that mechanic, and I almost wish they had simplified so much of the game so it's just that. Like, you're managing the mast and the sails, and you're kind of like physically working. I know Muna's gonna say, "Hey, that's just Sea of Thieves," but like,
no. Like, I'm gonna agree with you guys. Like,
okay.
Number one, yes, it is. It is just like Sea of Thieves.
Well, available now in Game Pass.
Like, I like the idea of Musum said of like this being more of a survival game, and yes. Sure. Procedurally generation is both a blessing and a curse depending on your game. Right. But as soon as Musum said that, I was like, yeah, that would be cool. Like, going down river and like building this thing up, and then I realized that I'm just thinking of Flame in the Flood.
I was just gonna say,
I adored.
Well, I mean, steal from the best, right? Like, they could do their linear levels, and they could do it like Odin Sphere, where like you're going left to right, but it's a circular map. And you just anyway, sorry.
Because I think part of the thing that frustrated me about this game is when you got the like the steam engine part. It's not steam, but whatever. Like, I liked putting the ship together and seeing it get bigger and bigger and kind of looking more like a complete ship. I thought that was kind of cool. But like having to dive and get more of those like scrap cubes or whatever they were, like bundles of stuff. Like that the busy work of having to go and do that to make sure that you have more to keep going, like that felt that amount of work didn't feel as satisfying as messing with the mast and the sails. Like, that felt more immediately rewarding rather than, well, I'm just going to jump on the bellows a little bit and spray the hose and hang out for a minute, I guess.
Like, they had a right idea with I feel like the conveyor belt button, even if it was placed in the worst place possible, so that I was just constantly reloading my materials on accident.
Oh, with the hooks on the bottom? Yeah, it's a really cool idea, but yeah.
But like, if they had all those hooks, like, I also really enjoyed grabbing the hook and doing a deep dive, and I only found like 2 giant chests down there, but there's a giant chest here. Like, I enjoyed that aspect, but then once you get that chest up there and you have to walk back and forth 20 times to get the materials from it or whatever you got, like, that's super annoying. I think if it had a little bit more streamlining in some of the mechanics and a little bit more of an exploratory nature, I think they'd really have something.
Yeah, because I almost want like a chill mode. I sort of want like, yeah, man, you got unlimited fuel, cool. Like you still get to play the puzzles and whatever, but like, you want to sail and chill? Yeah, you can sail and chill. Like that. That's the mode I kind of want. Where it's like, I want to look at the environment, I want to enjoy the really great music, I want to look at the cool graphics, but I don't want to have to spin all the plates all the time. And like, I know this is like a 5-hour game, so this is maybe the most first world problem on the planet. But you know, that was kind of my frustration the entire time. As much as I liked it, it was always kind of eating at me.
Well, it's like you don't want to explore when you're underwater and you're just constantly reloading the stuff because you're like, I'm going to look at the camera to try and look around and I'm out of fuel. So I can start that process again. So it's very much I really hope I'm in the right place because it's going to be annoying if I have to move this ship somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Any other thoughts here for Bar Changing Tides? Son of a... Every time.
Well, my final thoughts would just be like, I enjoyed it. I will probably not play it again. I feel like they have a lot of really cool ideas, a lot of really cool art and music in this thing. I think they just need to work on communicating with the player better, and I feel like there's some gel, some connective tissue in the middle that they're just missing. And you know, I know we've been spitballing all episode, and I'm sure developers just love hearing people tell them how to make the game.
They love podcasters telling them how to design games.
But
hey, music. This is how you make music better, by the way.
That's right. Put more bleeps and bloops
that
in
all
there.
my life, and I haven't listened yet. So, dance beat, you got it. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Moon, what are your final thoughts here?
It's. I genuinely kind of like this game, but also at the same time, I genuinely kind of hate this kind of game. This game, like, it's the worst kind of game to talk about because we can't come in and literally crap all over it. Tokyo 42. We can't come in and call out its BS. Saturday morning RPG.
Because it's not a bad game, to be clear.
It's not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not Tunic, where we all come in and like, oh my word, this game is so great, or True Colors, where we all come in and like, oh my word, this game is so great. Like there is something there, and if you like the first game, obviously you've probably already played this, and you don't need us telling you to play it, like or not. There is something there. I think you know how there is different like kinds of meditation you can do. Like there's the music meditation and the self-guide and the thoughtful thinking. I think this is actually a very good Zen game, but not my kind of Zen. This is that kind of Zen game where it's like, this would be great if I was like 2 chakras over kind of thing to a different kind of meditation.
Right.
It might click with me a lot better, but the way it is, it just didn't sit right with me. And it's not the game's fault. The game is perfectly fine. Like you guys said, the music is great. And I only know the music is great because I listened to it while not playing the game.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Because I wasn't paying attention to the music while I was trying to, raise the sails, close the engine down, go up, go down, dive, rise. And the worst thing is, I'm not done playing the game yet because I've still got 3 achievements to go.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I see why these 2 games are
same boat.
How did you miss it, dude?
God, I'm disappointed in myself. I feel similarly. I can see why people really love these games. Like it's the same way for me, like with Fez and Witness and Tunic, where it's like, yep, these are mine. These are for me. If you don't like them, cool, but there's something about it that 100% clicks with me. And this game is good, but it just never fully clicked with me. It's like 70% of the time, I'm sort of like, yeah, this is really good. Like I'm having a really good time. And the other 30% is just like, it's like wearing a nice shirt that's a little itchy, where it's like, I look really good in this outfit, and it just it's just a little itchy, and
Like
it's
the
kind of
label
driving me
keeps
crazy.
flopping up on the neck.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm just like,
every time you fix it, it itches, and then it flops itself back up again.
Right, and it's like, it's not the biggest thing in the world, but I'm probably not going to wear this shirt again. And I feel like that's what this game is, where it's like, my time with it was okay, but that label just kept flapping up every once in a while. But they come out with another one of these, I'll probably check it out. I mean, maybe the one where they fly the entire time might be super cool. Like, I'm not entirely sure, but
okay, you've nailed what the third one's going to be. Let's face it, because
desert,
the first one
water, air.
Exactly. So
Yep.
okay, what is what's an appropriate name?
Oh,
Far Skies, Changing Tides.
There's Far Skies Unbound. There's your free title. But yep, that's.
I think Far Skyward Ship. Thank you very much.
Oh, there you go.
That makes me think of Zelda, man. Link's gonna show
exactly.
Up.
That's the point.
Get that SEO. All right, well that's all of our stuff here for Far. Let's talk about our next game, Weird West. This came out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It is available at the time of recording on Game Pass, so you can snag that. I think it's only console Game Pass and maybe not PC, but I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to find out which one is which.
So.
Yeah, so, just sort of, whatever. Play it on your platform of choice. We're going to be playing Weird West, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.